fans, Chris Hero here on commentary, care of Smart Mark Video, as Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, makes his way in the ring here in Lafayette, Indiana. Samoa Joe set to face Homicide. This match was set in Hammond, Indiana at the Volcano Girls show. This should be an outstanding match tonight. Both men very exceptional on the mat. Both men have a very similar striking style. Homicide more with the forearms and punches, and Samoa Joe a little bit more with the kicks and forearms. Should be a very...
One hell of a hard-hitting contest, Chris Hero.
Absolutely, took the words right out of my mouth, Dave.
On a show with several rematches in IWA Mid-South, the One More Time theme almost across the board tonight in the upper half of the card. This is a first-time meeting in IWA. It's definitely not a first-time meeting in professional wrestling.
Absolutely not. I tell you what, Homicide has that injured hand. Last week in Brandon, Florida, he took on Black Tigers in the Jeff Peterson Memorial. And
a fight after the show at a bar. Suffered
Absolutely.
A lacerated hand, some over like a dozen stitches.
Yeah, nearly 20 stitches, I believe.
The back of the ring, less than a week later.
Look at that.
He'll bite Samoa Joe's hand if need be.
He has strong style teeth.
Of course, Samoa Joe facing yourself, Chris Hero, back at Highland, Indiana. Back at May 29th during the tag team title tournament show. Choked you out in Highland, but the very next night as part of a six-man elimination tag, tapped out to the Hangman's Clutch in Hammond, Indiana at the women's tournament show. So you guys are sort of a little bit even as far as wins and losses go in the ring with one another, but there is still a score to be settled between yourself and Samoa Joe.
Tell you what, Joe is a very formidable opponent. As you can see here, trading headbutts and jabs with 187 Homicide.
Homicide getting the better of Samoa Joe for the moment.
As you notice, Homicide there with the left-handed chop. This may be a factor, Dave. Tell you what, both these guys are rather evenly matched, but if Joe starts to pick apart that hand, should be all over for Homicide.
Homicide with his legs wrapped around the neck and the head of Samoa Joe, trying to take his wind away from him, wear him down, but Samoa Joe escapes, tying up the legs of Homicide, trying to grab hold of the chin as well. Cross faces. Some brutal forearms right across the grill of Homicide. And pulling back now. Still has one leg tied up. Along with the chin lock, just pulling back on that. Pressure on the back, on the head, on the neck.
I'll tell you what, Dave Prazak, I've been in the ring with a lot of guys in my nearly 6 years in the business, and these two guys in the ring.
And look at how far he's wrenching back on that hold. The fact that Homicide is still hanging in the matchup just shows his fortitude.
Tell you what, two of the hardest hitters I've ever been in the ring with. That covers a lot of ground, Dave.
Yes, it does. Also on tonight's card, you will see Danny Daniels to take on Nate Webb. Delirious Colt Cabana and the debuting H.C. Loke to do battle. Boot to the chest out of the corner from Homicide, a knee lift to follow up.
Homicide going to that right hand punch. aggravating his
He's
injury.
so used to throwing that right-handed punch that he forgot about his own injury. And that is definitely going to be in the favor of Samoa Joe in this contest. That injury, something he could go after.
Here he goes, Samoan uppercut by Joe. And here comes the big one. Knocks Homicide off his feet.
Lacey and Daisy Hayes for the women's title. Knockout or submission rules apply.
Wow.
And now just kicks right to the side of the head. Homicide trying to turn his face. Those kicks right to the ear, but it's not really phasing Homicide. Back to his feet and a stare down mid-ring. Now just repeated.
Knee strike.
And a kick to follow up, but Homicide still on his feet. What's it gonna take to make this man go down?
Homicide.
One shortcut by Homicide brings Samoa Joe down in the corner and now boot right across the throat.
Tell you what, Homicide is from the streets, and he brings the streets to the ring. I'll tell you what, Dave, with that eye poke, that boot scrape across the face.
Now a little bit of payback for Samoa Joe right now as Homicide with repeated kicks measures him, but Samoa Joe digging down for some energy. Knee strike right there, and again, connected right with the mouth. Kick to the back, kick to the chest, combination. Into the corner goes Homicide. Samoa Joe now with the face wash right across the face with the bottom of his boot.
There you go, a la Shinjiro Otani.
A little bit of
He comes with the running face wash.
And kicks Homicide right in the face.
Samoa Joe is taking it to Homicide the early minutes of this match.
Two very evenly matched competitors.
I wouldn't say they're so evenly matched tonight, Dave.
Well, they have been going back and forth. And, you know, the offense of Homicide isn't really phasing Samoa Joe so much, and Samoa Joe's offense isn't really phasing Homicide. The only really factor thus far is that injured hand.
Absolutely. You know, that could be the factor in the matchup tonight, and actually, I think it will be, Dave.
Homicide backed into the corner, sent across the ring by Samoa Joe. But Homicide with a strike as Joe followed into the corner. Knee to the side of the head, drives Samoa Joe down to the mat.
Homicide taking it right back to Joe.
Slowly lifting him up off the canvas. Crowd getting behind Homicide. Neck breaker right in the middle of the ring. Goes for the cover with a hook of the leg. But no, Samoa Joe rolls that shoulder up off the canvas. Not going to put him away that easily. And just hooking the leg, favoring that hand after the cover.
The diving knee strike followed up by that neck breaker.
You can tell
going for another one.
Just measuring him, focusing on the neck of Samoa Joe.
And you know why he's focusing on the neck, Dave?
Set him up for the cop killer. Can he get him up for that?
I'll tell you what, if he can't get him up for the cop killer, he can sure roll him over and put him in the STF.
That's right. Measuring Samoa Joe and a boot right to the head.
I'll tell you what, come to think of it, ow!
Right to the face that time.
Busting Samoa Joe's nose. You can see blood on the bridge of Joe's nose right now.
Off the ropes once again, kicked right to the face. Homicide with the cover.
Come to think of it, Dave, when your finishing move is the cop killer, I don't think you really have to work the neck. I think that move does it all.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it does soften up the neck for the maneuver.
Left-handed chop once again.
He has no choice but to use his...
Pulling a Mike Tyson, biting the ear.
Doing whatever it takes. He knows that he has an injury. Needs to get the job done by any means necessary tonight, Chris Hero. Blatant choke in front of referee Tommy Thompson, asking for the break.
Going with that left-handed punch.
Headbutt right there from Homicide, but Joe dueling headbutts right now as Joe trying to work his way back to his complete standing position in the corner. But a boot to the midsection from Homicide takes him right back down.
If you take a look at the headbutt food chain, Dave, on the top of that list are Samoans and bald people. And what do we have here? We have a bald guy and we got a Samoan.
Samoa Joe takes the buckle. Homicide comes charging, gets caught and planted. Modified STO out of the corner.
Space Tornado Ogawa.
There they go. Homicide with Samoa Joe. looking to send him into the edge of the ring apron, but went right into the ring.
Here it is, Dave.
Go for that cannonball senton that gets slapped right across the face by Samoa Joe.
That'll bust an eardrum. We've seen that dive by Homicide so many times. Samoa Joe's done his homework, setting up the chair.
Give Samoa Joe wants to give Homicide a front row seat tonight here in Lafayette. But only a momentary front row seat.
Is this that Olay kick, Dave?
Looks to be what he's setting up for, Chris. Homicide in a seated position as Samoa Joe comes charging and knocks him right to the floor.
Kicks right through the torso of Homicide. Sits him down in the chair again.
Chop right across the chest.
Is he going for another
number
one?
2. And once again, this time setting him several feet out of the chair onto the cold concrete floor of the armory.
I'll tell you what, Joe kicked him straight in the face, but I think when he went down, I think he caught his hand on the ground there, Dave. Maybe on a chair. It looks like he's favoring his hand a little bit right now.
Clutching at that hand right now as Samoa Joe lifts him up. Looking to bring the battle back inside the squared circle.
Very hot and humid in this building tonight, Dave Prazak.
Slinging Hades 3 one more time. Slowly lifting Homicide up, knee strike. Joe looking for maybe a power bomb. Plants him. Crouches down into a cover, gets thrown to the shoulder.
Homicide has him. Triangle choke, it looks like.
I don't know if he's got it quite cinched in, but Tommy Thompson right in there to see if he'd like to give it up. If he needs to give it up.
Samoa Joe getting his foot on that bottom rope.
Foot on the rope. Must break the hold. And Homicide does.
I'll tell you what, Tenzon chop. I'll tell you what, you have to admire Samoa Joe in this effort because he knows that Homicide has an injury. He's not going after it. I think he wants to win this match because he's the better wrestler, not because his opponent has an injury. What do you think, Dave?
Homicide going for the cover. You raise a good point. Too close to the ropes. Got to pull him in the middle of the ring. But also you got to hand it to Homicide in this match. Despite the injury, still fighting tooth and nail with Samoa Joe, and right now with the momentary advantage.
I'll tell you what, when you're in there with Homicide, it is tooth and nail. Because he'll put his teeth on your forehead.
Strike combination. Overhead release, belly to belly suplex by Samoa Joe.
Belly overhead, as they say on the streets.
Joe opting not to go for the cover, looking to follow up on the maneuver. Bringing away on the arm of Homicide. And with hold of that injured hand, now Chris Hero, he is going to work on the injury. Power slam, and it looks like he might have caught his head on that on the way over, but no.
Hit a run!
Cross arm breaker.
Jujigana-me! Get that cross arm breaker, and I tell you what, I don't even know if Homicide could get it.
Will he be able to hang in there?
He needs to roll. He needs to roll him up. There we go.
Trying to make his way to the ropes. Reaching with all he can. Can he make it? He does.
Wow. Like I said, Dave, even if he could get his hand in there to block it, I don't know how much good it would do. I don't know how much strength he has in that right hand.
Going for an arm submission might be Samoa Joe's best bet at this point in time. He would need to lock it in the very center of the ring.
Take your pick, man. Right arm, left arm.
Homicide into the buckle, gets the boot up into the mouth of Samoa Joe. Second turnbuckle, traps the head.
Diamond dust.
Diamond dust out of the corner by Homicide. Lateral press, 1, 2. No, Tommy Thompson says 2. His own momentum counted 3, but he got that shoulder up in the last split second. Only 2.
As Tracy Smothers would say, man, hook the leg. If he would have hooked the leg,
but I don't know if he can hook that leg due to the injured hand. He did try hooking the leg on previous covers and did damage to the hand. And now it's coming down to slaps. As now Homicide set to the ropes. Ducks underneath the lariat.
Koji cutter!
That could be in right there, but did he damage his hand right there, hitting that maneuver? Favoring the hand once again as Tommy Thompson applies a double count. Go for that cover with the other hand. Only two Samoa Joe still in the matchup. Tremendous fight in both of these athletes. Homicide backs Joe into the ropes, holds on. Shot maybe a little bit low.
Larry Zbyszko style.
Bulldog off the ropes by Homicide.
I tell you what, I think Homicide's best bet is to just
For the cover. No.
pound and pound on Joe and hopefully knock him out, because even if he does get a chance to put that STF on, how tight is he going to be able to grab that hold? Is he going to be able to lift him up for the cop killer? We don't know. He needs a knockout.
Maybe what he's going for here, maybe a pile driver.
Yep, pile driver coming up.
Can he get the big man up? Does he have the strength in him after this hard-fought battle? Homicide elevates. Homicide elevated by Samoa Joe. Back body drop. Homicide now hits the rope. Or Samoa Joe hits the ropes. Lariat takes him down. 1, 2. No, only 2. Only 2, says the referee. Joe looking to finish him off. Elevates Homicide.
Oh, knee strike to the head.
Off the ropes comes Homicide. Ducks the attempt. Fujiwara armbar.
On that right arm. He's got this biting the hand.
Referee
I will be amazed if he does not tap out on this.
Tommy Thompson getting in there to see if Homicide. In the ropes he goes.
Wow.
Forcing the break.
I guess Homicide can't knock him out if he can't use either of his arms. I guess he could kick him in the head, knock him out.
Tremendous second match here at One More Time. Anybody's ball game at this point. The key for Samoa Joe is to go after that injury. Homicide just needs to wear Samoa Joe down. Forearm strike by Joe. Sends Homicide to the ropes. No, puts on the brakes.
No.
Joe gets out of that way. Suplex, no. Homicide trying to fight it off. Going for the suplex again. Brainbuster. Right in the middle of the ring. And Homicide kicks out.
He's got that arm.
Once again.
Back to that right arm.
Into the cover. No. He tapped.
He tapped.
He tapped. Samoa Joe is your winner.
Very intense encounter between Samoa Joe and Homicide. Homicide put up an extremely good fight, but in the end, his injury came back. He was not able to get the win on Joe tonight. Samoa Joe still undefeated in singles competition in IWA. Victories over IWA champion BJ Whitmer, Steve Stone, Eric Cannon, myself, and now Homicide. Fans in Lafayette giving it up for Samoa Joe.